Well, welcome back and welcome to my workshop. Now, today something a little bit different, okay, because this is my own guitar. This is a Yamaha Silent Acoustic. It is the SLG2 steel, okay, so steel strings. Now, you may notice I've already taken one tuner out. Now, the reason I did that was because I needed to make sure that the hole was the right size. In fact, I had that problem on an acoustic guitar many years ago on an American Classic acoustic, Craft, I think it was, and the holes were smaller. And I fitted a set of Spurzl locking tuners on, the string locking tuners on that, and the problem there was that drilling out the hole bigger was a bit of a drag and it actually chipped a little bit of wood. So today's happenings are, this is getting a set of Hipshot string lock tuners, so guitar tuner upgrade kit. Now, I managed to get this. It was brand new, effectively, and it had been opened but never used. They're not in there, they're on my bench. I'll show you them in a minute. And yeah, never used. Okay, so the beauty of these is over what I normally use, either Fender locking tuners. They have 2 pins on them that go into holes, so you have to, if you've not got a Fender guitar that's already got Fender non-string locking tuners on there, then you'll be making new holes in the guitar. So the beauty of these is that although they come with a piece that you can use to screw it into the back of the headstock there, they actually just bolt on with these metal plates. Now, these metal plates have tabs, and once this goes through them, sorry, the other way around, they don't actually move anywhere. They can't move anywhere. So you don't need to drill any holes into the headstock that aren't already there. The other plus, okay, so the Yamaha has these very small, almost mini buttons, okay, and they're quite a bit bigger on the Hipshot, as you can see there. But as luck would have it, the original ones fit straight onto the Hipshot, no problem. Just got to undo that screw there. So once I've fitted all these, I will be changing all the buttons over as well to the originals. So it will pretty much look like the original from the front, but on the rear, you'll have this thumb lock for string changing. Now, the reason I do this on all my personal guitars is I hate changing strings. I hate wrapping a string around this post and trying to do it right and feeding it in and back through and wrapping it round. I just hate that, and I hate the look as well of the string wrapped around this post several times. I'd rather it just goes through, you lock it up, and you're done. You know, it doesn't even normally get a whole wind around that post by the time you've tuned it in. Now, these particular Hipshot tuners are open gear ones. I don't know if you can see that. I think they look pretty cool. They do a closed gear one as well. These are normally about the best part of 100 quid. I got them on eBay, as I say. I won them for £52 plus a bit of postage, so less than 60 quid. And they arrived yesterday. They just took 2 or 3 days to get here. That's fine. And so 3 aside. So first of all, what we've got to do is take these old ones off. Now then, rather than just cutting the strings, what we'll do is we will slacken all the strings off, okay, before you before you cut them, so it's not going to ping away wildly. See, this is what I hate. That way, that's all wrapped around there, and oh, I don't know. I just locking tuners, thumb locking tuners, string locking tuners, call them what you want. They just look so much nicer. Now, while we're at it, once I've got these off, okay, which is pretty straightforward, I'm going to be honest with you, because on the back there's nothing holding these in, as they have a single pin. The original tuners have a single pin going into the woodwork, if you like, and there's the original, has a small pin there, and that goes into the water, tightens up, and that stops this, stops it swiveling around. Okay, so once you've got the strings all nice and loose, it's time to cut them. So it's wire cut time, so we'll just cut them off, get them out of the way, as you would. Okay, now we just need a 10mm spanner for these, to take these off. You just undo that nut there. Okay, very straightforward. Undo this nut, take the string off out of the way. All right, throw that on the floor. Throw that on the floor. Once you've loosened this nut, you can undo it by hand. Shouldn't be a problem. And then undo that, and there you have it. Very straightforward, taking these off. So I'm going to take these all off and then show you what's next. Hang on while I switch the camera off. There we go. Right then, so that is the strings removed, as you can see. Now, this is as good a time as any, now that there's no nothing in the way, to give your guitar a nice clean. Okay, so first thing, I mean, obviously get rid of the dust. Okay, so we'll do that. It's bound to be a bit. This hangs up in my studio, so it does gather a bit of dust, because I don't play it often. Well, not very often anyway. I like it. I like it. Actually, I've been meaning to do this for a while, because I wanted to put just 1 gauge lighter strings on it than what it came with, and I didn't want to do that until I'd put the locking tuners on it. Okay, so it's a nice guitar. It really is. You can use it with the headphones, plug it into an amp, do what you've got to do. It's got built-in chorus and reverb. Pretty basic. They've not tried to do anything too clever with the effects side of things. Right, now, while we're here, okay, and while the strings are off, I'm going to, I actually use this Dunlop lemon oil, okay, and so just give that a squeeze. I'm gonna, got a nice pad on there, just put that on here, okay, on the fretboard. It's never had this since I've had it, because I've not changed the strings, and I've had the guitar for a couple of years now, so this won't do any harm at all. The old wood does like a bit of that. Put a bit on there, I don't know why, but there we go. So now we'll just spread it in at every part of the fretboard. I'm sure most of you have, or a lot of you have probably done this before during string changes. It's not rocket science. Well worth having. So that's that, very basic. I'm not piling it on there, not put too much on it. Just going to let that do its own thing and dry naturally. Now, yeah, so that's the stuff I use. I think there's plenty of choices out there. That's the Dunlop fretboard 65. You know what? I think I just got that off of Amazon a while back. and then I found my old one, so now I've got 2 bottles of it. Now the other thing I do use on pretty much all my guitars, once I've put them back together, is that it just gives them a nice, shiny, smooth finish. Not on the fretboard, don't need to do that, but on the body. I mean, there's not much of a body on this. Nice to do the headstock, but certainly on my Red Specials, my Telly, my Ibanez, all them, that's what I'd use just to give them a once over on the bodies, keep it nice and clean. Right, so what we're doing now is we're going to turn this over, okay, and we're going to look at, let's put this down like that. Now we've got all of the tuners, and they're 3 aside, so we've got to match which ones are going where. That goes that side. Oh yeah, that one go, no, that's the other, that one there, sorry. I put it over there with the old ones. This is the one that I changed the button on already, okay. Now, remember, we're not screwing into the neck with these. So we could actually, because the screw here would line up with the hole that's come off the old tuning peg, but we have these metal plates, okay, that come in the kit, and I believe you need 1 long and 1 short, okay. The long one goes down the bottom there, and no, the small one that is. I thought that was the long one. I'll tell a lie. So the long one, that goes at the top, and the short one at the bottom. Now the long one goes over the short one. Not sure if you can see this properly. Let me tune the camera, turn the camera down a little bit. Okay, so you can see what's going on. Right, so we're putting these there like this. Let's put oh no, I see what's going on. Right, so they point down towards the body, and that one in there. So now bear in mind, I haven't screwed anything together yet, okay, and they're already in line. All right, I haven't put anything in. Yeah, they're already perfectly in line because of these 2 plates. All right, so that is the beauty of these Hipshot tuners. You're paying for the privilege of not having to put any holes in your guitar. I think that's actually a really good design, and because the lower plate, because it sits, the upper plate sits on top of the lower plate, it can angle slightly, okay. So the headstock here, they go around, not around a corner, but they have a slight angle, and once they're bolted up, you'll be able to see what I mean. So let's put this together, right? With these tuners. There we go, that's that. So they're all in place and looking rather nice, I must say. Right. So this is the kit. This has got the nut and the washer for each one. There's also the screws. There's actually quite a few screws there. I don't know why. And there was a bag of screws separately. So maybe that's, well, I don't know. I don't know what it's for. So these just screw in from underneath, from the front. So I'm just going to do that now. Might as well do it while we're keep the camera rolling rather than switching it off. Sorry if you're bored already. The thing was, I tried to look up, I actually Googled fitting locking tuners onto a Yamaha silent acoustic, and there was a couple of forums that people had said what they'd put on and stuff like that, but there was no real there was no videos or anything of anybody doing this stuff. So I thought, well, I've done a few guitar videos before. Some of you will know that I make tremolo arms for Brian May guitars for the Red Specials and the LE models, which I can show you one of those actually. So that's these sort of things. Okay, so I make these to replace the ones that come with the guitar, because actually the ones that come originally with the guitar are a little bit lame. They don't look very good. Right, so you can check out my website, which is redspecials.co.uk, or my reverb shop, which is Red Special Customs. Okay, and have a look over there, or on my website, as I say, and you can see what I'm doing. Right, so I haven't tightened these up completely. Let's just check I've got all the washers on the right way round. No, I haven't. I've put two of the washers on upside down. So let's just take, I don't know how I didn't spot that, but there we go. They do have a certain way to go, so just looks nicer the other way up, and they sit flat on the wood. So it's that one. Where was the other one? That one there, that little monster there. So let's take that one off quickly. Just switch the washer over the other way. It's going to be very difficult for me to show you this, but the washer is chamfered on one side, so it has a flat side and a nice looking side, if that makes any sense. Right, now then, I think, so I've not done these up yet. I'm going to do these up with a spanner in a sec, but you can see the original button here, tuning button there, and these are the Hipshot ones, which for me are a little bit too big. I like it. I'm going to change them because I like it to look. I'm going to like it looking original. But on the back side, fantastic. That's a really nice, worthwhile upgrade. I mean, look, it's a £600 guitar. There's no, or £700, whatever it was, but there's no harm in spending £100 on these if you get them new, because they absolutely look great, make your string changing easier, and I guarantee it will stay in tune better as well. Right, now what I'm going to do now, in fact, let's do one on camera. Okay, so you get your 10mm, just tighten that up. You don't need to go mad on it, all right? Just tighten it up like that. Maybe there's a torque setting of some sort, but I think common sense prevails here, not to do that mad tighten, not to grab the end of the spanner. If you grab really on the end of the spanner, you're going to get a lot more torque into that. So don't grab the very end of the spanner, just sort of halfway down, and then to the torque setting, click, there we go, that's about it, click, there we go. Let's do this one, click, right, torque setting, click, there we go. So they're tightened up, absolutely everything in line. Looks totally perfect to me. So next thing, I am now I'm going to change these. Right, now that is in fact very straightforward. I'll do one now. It's only a little Phillips screwdriver, okay. There's a screw down that. Now I'll leave the original washer. There's a little nylon washer, tiny little nylon washer, and a little metal sort of spring washer type thing there. And then what we're going to do is take this off here. It really is very basic, this. Okay, and we'll leave the washer on there because I'll show you what we're going to do in a minute. So this just goes straight on, all right. There's a flat on the post coming out of the tuner. It's got a flat edge, so you just line the button up onto that and then do it up. Now then, we've still got the ones that came off, and I'm going to put the new Hipshot buttons onto the old tuner, and that's going to hold everything together, all in the same place. So I'm not going to lose any of those little nylon washers, stuff like that. And then that lot will all go in a bag, in a drawer somewhere, probably get forgotten about, along with a hell of a lot of other guitar equipment, and never get seen or used again. But if it ever comes to, for whatever reason, these need to go back on it, I've got them and I can put them back on there, but they won't be. Right, so I'm just going to switch the camera off for a minute while I do the other 4 tuning heads, tuning buttons. Then I'm going to give it a quick once over with the Mr. Sheen, and then we'll get it restrung. Right, so that didn't take too long. Just swapped over the buttons there, so it basically looks, from where you're looking now, it looks no different from when it was the original tuners. But on the back there's lots of shiny chrome and it looks awesome. I couldn't be happier with that. Really love the look of that, and I know that they're going to be really nice for string changes and stuff like that. So I'm going to get it strung now and see where we're at. I'm going to go indoors, get the strings, and then we'll crack on with it. Right, now I know everybody's got their own favourite strings. I love Ernie Ball's Super Slinkies on most of my electric guitars, although I've got a Strat that I put some regulars on, so a set of 10s. I think I've got a Telly with a set of 10s on as well, actually, just for slightly different playing and stuff. So anyway, I wanted to be a little bit lighter, so I'm still going to play this, pick it up and play it, and I didn't want the strings being too heavy, so I've got these Earthwood lights, acoustic strings from Ernie Ball, bronze alloy things, 11 through 52 gauge, which is going to suit me perfectly actually. And there we go. So I'm going to get those fitted now. That's the stuff, and we'll catch up in a minute. Right, now I'm going to presume that if you come this far in this video, you know how to fit a string, okay? But I'm just going to show you one anyway. So you need something to grab the string with there. There we go. Pull it through the bridge plate there. Now, just going to cut the very end off. It's a little bit burred. Feed this through as normal. Okay. Knock the pin down. Okay, there we go. We'll pull that through, and then on the back, we're just going to do up thumb screw onto that string. Don't need to do it up insanely tight, just thumb tight, as tight as you can get it with your thumb. And then onwards and upwards. So just in case anything happens, I tend to not cut these off until I've done them all and I'm happy, it's a little bit tuned up. Then I'll just go around, cut the ends off. I'll show you that in a minute. Let me get the rest of the strings on and get it semi sort of tuned up. Right, so it was getting a bit warm out in the workshop. It's about 28 degrees out there today. So decided to come into my little studio music office man cave thing just to finish off the final tuning, really, to be honest with you. It's fully sort of serviced, polished, whatever you want to call it. Now it looks great. It feels great. It looks great. And there's the tuners. Right. So they are Hipshot thumb locking. So you lock the string in place with that. That, as you turn it, pushes a post up and it locks the string. But you look how much tidier that is without all that, you know, all the strings wrapped around each post. I hope you can see that okay. Right, it's just a lot, and string changes are so much easier. They really are, and yeah, I couldn't be happier. I mean, 52 quid plus the postage, a little bit of postage. I'm happy with that. Now, just because I've only got this microphone, I do have a fair old setup here. There's my pedals, that's my rig. There's some of my guitars there. There's my portable grand in the background. There's some of it. Right, so the only thing is I'm not actually going to bother plugging this in because A, my playing is not going to impress you. If you need to see what the guitar sounds like, there's plenty of tests out there online. These controls are actually very basic. You can mix the piezo pickup in with a microphone pickup and stuff like that. So, and if I'm honest with you, my playing is not going to impress anybody. So, there you have it. That is the Hipshot tuners upgrade onto a Yamaha silent acoustic, the SLG200S, which is exactly what it says on the back there. So it's the steel string version. I think the nylon string version has a slightly, maybe a wider neck, but definitely completely different tuners. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this. Now check out my website, which is redspecials.co.uk. All my contact details and prices and everything are on there, and that's for the custom parts that I make for Brian May guitars. As a quick disclaimer, I'm going to say that I am not in any shape or form a luthier or even a particularly skilled guitar tech. What I am is an engineer. I've been an engineer all my working life. I have all the tools to do just about everything that I need to do. So I do dabble, and that's why I think something like this is actually very straightforward. In fact, all you really need to do this job, okay, is a 10mm spanner to fit these, and plus whatever you need to get your old ones off, perhaps a small Phillips screwdriver, and whatever size nuts these are. I have seen these nuts in different sizes. I think I've seen them in sort of 12mm or 13mm, something like that maybe. Anyway, do me a favour, like, share, subscribe, do what you've got to do, and hope you've enjoyed it, and I will catch you on the next one. Take care and stay safe. Right, so that was a quick add-on for you, just a quick taster of my friend's music. That is Richard Kingsman, aka Boot, over on YouTube. Okay, check him out. There's a bunch of his recordings, like videos and music. He's also on Spotify and a bunch of the other stuff that you can stream on. I don't actually stream myself, so I'm not sure about all that. But yeah, check him out. He's done some pretty cool songs there. I really like that one as well. That's why I put a bit of that up as a taster. Okay, so yeah, pop over there. Richard Kingsman, aka Boot, B-O-O-T. That particular song was You Shot Me With My Own Gun. Like and subscribe to him. Like and subscribe to me. Take it easy. Catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Cheers.